Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live stream here on the channel for the Black Hood Group. I am your host, Black Chauffeur, BHCxDark. Name is always there in the corner. And as always, you can follow along on YouTube and Facebook at the Black Hood Group, and then follow along at my name directly on Twitch, Twitter, Steam, Trovo, TikTok, Instagram. It is Tuesday, January 24th of 2023. And once again, I am on my way to work. It is a very cloudy, but not like stormy cloudy day today. If you have not noticed, depending on where you're watching, I am in the process of updating all of my icons, profile pictures, whatever you want to call them, across all my social media. The picture that you see is a black hooded figure. And I went ahead and made that using an AI art generator found online, as there are many out there to be found and used. And I think it looks neat. I might update it again as I mess around with this thing, see how much better I can get it, if at all. Come on, people. Finally. So I might update it again. We will see. For now, I think it looks neat. I've updated it everywhere. There might still be a couple places it doesn't appear. But we'll go from there as it comes along. I have been playing Fallout 4 again. And again, with a ridiculous amount of mods, I think I'm pushing almost 400 on this playthrough. It's in the form of a collection from a place called nexusmods.com. Users, these are everyday folks like you and I, have made the decision that they're going to create a collection of mods usually made by other creators, and consolidate them into a single collection, hence the name, that are easy to install. So basically, you go to the collection page, you read through each collection and say, hey, I like this one. I like what this one has available. I like what this one is, the mods that this one has. I like, what have you. I like the list of mods this particular collection has. So you basically would click add to Vortex. Vortex being the modding software developed by Nexus Mods. It doesn't necessarily work very well anyway with older games, say pre-Vortex. But for games like Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, Fallout 4, Cyberpunk 2077, these newer games that has 100% support for, so it makes it very easy to download and install modifications, or in my case, entire collections of mods to alter the gameplay experience in a different manner. And it makes it very easy because depending on who is the author of the collection, they optimize it, make it easier to not only install it, thanks to Nexus Mods and Vortex, but by consolidating and patching the mods appropriately, there's less work you would have to do as the end user. You can basically, as long as you follow the instructions anyway, you follow their instructions, you should have nothing better to do than click play and that's it. And since I know how to actually read and follow instructions, I spend very little having to search for solutions to problems because there aren't any to be had. Damn people in their damn Mercedes-Benz. And that's why you caught a red light. Idiot. Anyway. So yeah. Absolutely fantastic using mod collection. This particular one in Fallout 4 has almost 400 mods. And it very much changes the complete look of the game. Like, here's a perfect example. I just finished playing a custom quest added mod through the collection I'm using. That was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. In the sense that the mod starts out with a simple request. A gentleman wants you to find his husband who disappeared many years ago down a tunnel in their basement. The only reason he hasn't gone himself is because the tunnel's infested with mole rats, which are basically, hence the name, mole rats. They're just giant mole rats. About the size of, say, a pit bull we're talking about. Mole rat the size of a pit bull. And very aggressive. So, the tunnel's infested with them. So, he doesn't dare go back down there again to search for his husband. So, he taps you as the sole survivor and savior of the Commonwealth, or basically the player character, to go down this hole and attempt to find out what happened. Now you think, oh, just go down a deep, dark hole infested with mole rats, find out the mole rats killed this guy, you return back wedding ring or note or some sort of proof that the person passed away. And then that's it. You get to miscellaneous loot, a couple hundred caps, which is the currency of the game, and that's it. No. You actually go down these tunnels and you find an entire vault. Vault 24. And not only do you find an entire vault, you find a vault entirely populated by a mixture of former members of the vault, still in their clothes, but have now become feral ghouls, which are people who have been physically changed by radiation, but their minds have rotted away and they essentially become zombies, but they're not technically undead. And then the other half of the population are just regular feral ghouls, just completely reduced to nothing. At least the ones that were still in their clothes, they speak, but they're immediately hostile. So there's that. As you make your way through the vault, you have to acquire keys to move through the different levels. You find items, things along the way that you can use, and ultimately you find the person you're looking for, who unfortunately becomes immediately hostile, and you got to put him down. While in there, I found not only an abundance of health items, really good high quality stuff, but an entire suit, top to bottom, an entire suit of pristine T65 So Ring King chimes in. Welcome back as always. Now that Stadia and Ouya are no longer a thing, these were additional home consoles. One was Stadia was by Google. Ouya, I forgot who developed that. But they were supposed to be a home console that, regardless of what type of game you wanted to play, you would stream the game over your internet connection. So it didn't use your actual hardware. So you didn't necessarily need a PlayStation 5 to play a high quality PlayStation 5 like game. The most famous example of at least with Stadia, is someone playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on Stadia had managed to put in thousands of hours into this game before it was discontinued. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a very high quality game, very high definition, lots of features, lots of everything about this game. So normally it would require a very high powered piece of hardware. The game played on the servers at Google. You just stream the experience, which you still control through your Stadia. Now that these consoles are gone, there is no competition. In fact, we're probably going to see less and less competition when it comes to home consoles. This is something I actually touched about on my own here. Is I do not see a future of home consoles, because home consoles, the likes of which, like Xbox and PlayStation to be exact, are transferring, or at least releasing, their library on PC. The only holdout is Nintendo. Do I see this becoming a thing in the future? Yes. Unfortunately, there's going to come a day where Sony will announce they will no longer make a PlayStation console. Whatever one is out at that time will be their last one. The same with Microsoft. They will release a final version of the Xbox, or whatever name they decide to give it by then. And Nintendo will be the only holdout, but they themselves will have to make a very difficult decision. Either release Nintendo software officially, not unofficially, but officially release Nintendo software on the PC platform through some sort of Nintendo launcher, like say Steam or Epic Game Launcher or something like that, or fade into existence and just never make a home console or exclusive games on a home console ever again. I will see that PlayStation will only become a publishing platform for other studios to release their games on PC through a PlayStation or a Sony launcher of some sort. Microsoft, I mean, at this point, all of their games, at least their first-party games, are already available on PC to begin with. So, if we're talking right now, yeah, I do not see any new home consoles being developed to challenge Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony with their consoles, the Switch, the Xbox, and the PlayStation, respectfully. But do I see even them? Like, do I ever see us reaching a PlayStation 10? I don't think so. A PlayStation X, as they might decide to call it. Do I see the Xbox or Microsoft releasing a home console in that same generation? Even Nintendo, I don't see it. Right now, they have no challenge. But only because the market for home consoles is essentially fading away. It may not be apparent to many people right now, but as somebody who has lived through as many gaming generations as I have, and some people out there who have lived even more than I have, this is an inevitability. There will come a time when there will be no more consoles. There will be no more new PlayStation consoles. Reiterate, no more new PlayStation consoles. No more new Xbox. No more new Nintendo consoles. There will be PC. There will only be the computer. As the one gaming platform. Mario games, your Zelda games, Metroid, those will never go away. Those are classic titles, classic game IPs, and they will always have access to them. No doubting their ability to sell titles. However, there will come a time where they will have to face the music. Sony and Microsoft will already have folded by this time and will have released their entire game library on their digital platforms, their digital game store. And ultimately, Nintendo will no longer make home consoles. Now, they may make accessories to use on the PC for some of the more unique titles that they may release in the future. But I ultimately think that Nintendo, short of coming out with their own version of a person, will never happen. They will stop making consoles. That day will come one day. It won't be anytime soon. I still see Nintendo coming out with a good couple more consoles. Some more versions of PlayStation and Xbox coming out in the near future. But in terms of actual competition, Nintendo will basically only be competing with themselves because PC, you can't compete with them. And ultimately, more and more people will be driven to the PC platform as the primary or eventually the only gaming platform there is. Because again, every new PlayStation game will release on PC. Microsoft games, like Xbox games, it doesn't take much to go from Xbox to PC. PlayStation to PC is a little more of a conversion type deal, especially when it comes to the actual game code. But from Xbox to PC, it's not a huge leap. And like I said, we're already seeing PlayStation titles. Games that launched on the PlayStation 5 are now available on the PC. I already mentioned God of War 2018. Well, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Both of these titles are available on Steam right now. Available for purchase right now on PC, on Steam. that goes to show you and everyone out there where Sony's head is at. They see the inevitability of the home console going the way of the dinosaur. Microsoft has already been doing it by releasing games on the PC that sometimes will simultaneously launch on the Xbox as well as PC. Will Nintendo still be that holdout? Obviously, they always have been the holdout because of their library, because of the support that they give to their consoles. But I still see a day where there will be a final Nintendo console. That day will come. Because it's easier to buy a console than a PC that can cost over $1,000, plus too many casuals are not tech savvy. They just want to pop in a disc and play or download and play. You're right, but PCs have become so readily available. You can now purchase a PC that can not only compete, but overtake in terms of raw graphical power a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X for around the cost of a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. Now, if you wanted to crank out more out of your game, graphic-wise anyway, yeah, you'd be spending $1,000 minimum. But for someone who's only going to buy it, who only play games, yeah, you spend $500-$600 and you get yourself and not even custom. You can go online or walk into a store like Best Buy and purchase a pre-built, that's what we call it, tech savvy world, a pre-built machine, pre-built rig that will handle current generation games and below. And you're right, there are plenty of people out there that are not tech savvy, but again, the fact that you can buy a pre-built machine just for this purpose, forget the fact that the computer can do many other things besides play games. But then you also have platforms like Steam who offer you the ability to connect your PC to a TV through an HDMI cable, or if you have something newer, a DisplayPort cable. Connect your PC to a computer, connect an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller to this computer, and be able to start your PC, your computer, from the controller, switch your HDMI input the same you would, say, an Xbox or PlayStation controller, and have a user interface similar to the Xbox and PlayStation interfaces, but for your PC game. If you will Google it right now, Steam has a feature built into it called Big Screen Mode. Big Screen Mode gives you a user interface similar to the Xbox Series or PlayStation user interface, but for your entire PC game library. It's called Big Picture Mode. And it is built into Steam. And I'll do you one better. You can very easily, mind you, set it up so that once the computer turns on, not only can you have it where Steam automatically opens, signs into your Steam account where all your games are attached, but you can it'll then automatically, on opening of Steam, then immediately launch Big Picture Mode, but completely removing the need for a keyboard and mouse. And you can then go exclusively with your favorite handheld controller. And nowadays, you can pretty much pick and choose. The PC, through Steam, can, more officially than unofficially, you can use your favorite Xbox controller, PlayStation controller, and Switch controller, Switch Pro controllers in this case. And not only can you use them, but you can use them wirelessly over Bluetooth, which most PCs nowadays have built in, which is the same Bluetooth technology you find in the Xbox, the Switch, and the PlayStation. I myself use a PlayStation 5 controller, nice red one, to play the games that I play on the PC that just play better with the controller. In this case, like Grand Theft Auto 5 or Tunic, as I've been playing and finished, I use a PlayStation 5 controller to play these games and play them efficiently. So it's all there. The groundwork for a PC-only gaming experience is already there. It just takes these other companies, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, to realize that the home console is going the way of the dinosaur, slowly but surely. And the fact that it's now easier to get your hands on a fully made computer that's just as powerful as the PlayStation 5, if not more so. And you can pick and choose which controllers you use. You fire up Steam or your favorite, game launching or gaming marketplace, and then turn around and play all your favorite games from current generation back and play them on any size screen, because you don't have to use a computer monitor connected to a computer. You can use anything with an HDMI port that's up to and including all high-definition TVs, regardless of size. All those new TVs, 80-inch, 90-inch, 100 inches plus, or hell, use a projector. Connect your PC to your projector. Have it sitting next to the couch or on the far side of the room, wherever the hell you want. You get your controller, and all of a sudden you're playing a PC game on your TV as if it was a home console. The groundwork is there. All it takes is the companies to realize that this groundwork is there. And eventually they're going to go from hardware development to software production. And ultimately, studios are just going to go to these companies like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, as only a publishing platform. We made this game, we want to release it on your platform exclusive, or we want to release it on multiple platforms at the same time. But all of those digital platforms are all accessible on a computer, thus negating the need for a home console. So that's where we're at right now. The groundwork is there. It's not fully implemented in a sense that the software is not available yet. But hardware-wise, it's there. The infrastructure is there. It's only a matter of time, unfortunately. Because I am a fan of home consoles. I have a Switch. I've owned PlayStations before. I've never owned an Xbox, but that's for other reasons. I've had PlayStations since the original PlayStation 1. I've had almost every Nintendo console, both home and handheld. So I've been a fan of these things. But even I can see that this is the future that we're moving to. And if you knew some of the other stuff that I see going on in the background, you'd know that the days of home consoles, they're on their way out. Slowly but surely, they're on their way out. So, I'm here at work. I've arrived early again, as always. Can never be late. I'm going to go ahead and start heading in. So, cutting out the video here. We'll be back again, not tomorrow night, but Thursday night, 9 p.m. for Among Us VR. And then Friday for Fortnite Friday. So, I have been BHCxDark. My name is always there in the corner. You can follow along on YouTube and Facebook at The Black Hood Crew. Then follow along at my name directly on Twitch, Twitter, Steam, Trovo, TikTok, Instagram. So until Thursday night, 9 p.m. for Among Us VR, everyone be safe, be smart, and be excellent.